continent would not deliver. And so working in a very strategic way with the Africans to optimize the value and benefits of investment in agriculture would be key. And then, of course, the private sector. What would we do without the private sector? The private sector is very key. In a lot of ways, it was the fact that we operated agriculture in the continent without an eye on the fact that it is really a sector that can get the best of creativity, the best of innovation, and therefore be a source of growth that made it not to accelerate in the way that it did in countries like India and in China. This kind of approach of involving all parties is essential toward the work that we do and toward the attaining of the MDGs. I hope that the panelists will endeavor to outline some strategies that will help us to even move toward enhanced results. In closing, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that the World Development Report, Agriculture for Development, would be launched on the 19th of October, and Africa is featuring very prominently in this launch. The president of the World Bank, Bob Zolik, will address the participants. You are, of course, all warmly invited to join us on the 19th of October for the launch of this very important report. Now, if the number of times that we call you to an event is an indicator of how important a subject matter is to us, there you argue that Africa and agriculture is really very important to our institution. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to thank you and to welcome you to a very fruitful deliberation, even as I have to beg for your understanding that I have to take my leave to do yet another meeting. I hope that you're going to really have a good deliberation, and I look forward to getting the contributions from the different constituencies that are represented at this event today. But once again, let me congratulate the African Society for this wonderful initiative that it has taken, and I am the richer for it. Thank you very much.
We thank you most kindly, Obi, and let us give Obi a round of applause for that wonderful speech, which is going to set us through these deliberations when we will be doing the roundtables. In the meantime, also in the interest of time, if you notice that we haven't asked for questions and answers, we will get that the time to do that, because the agriculture team are here and they will be able to answer as competently as Obi would have answered. So we are okay with that. But in the meantime, also, we have another very important person with us. Abdoulaye Biochane is the Director for Africa at the International Monetary Fund, IMF. In the bank translation, we would call him the Vice President for Africa in the IMF, but they call him Director for Africa. So I would want to welcome Biochane. He's a great son of Africa, an eminent member of the African Society. And since he has to leave in a few minutes to see one of the heads of state in town with whom he has an appointment, I will just call him right up without further ado. Please, Bio, join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very stimulating discussion on strategy for agriculture development in Africa. First, let me say how much I'm happy to be here to share with you a few comments But before, let me thank the sponsor of this meeting, the World Bank, IMF African Society, and the Constituency for Africa, not only for this event, but also for their continuous work on Africa. It's a great support for us who are working on Africa in the fund, but also in the bank. And I would like to thank Beldina and congratulate her for the nice job they are doing in the society. And as she said, I'm a member of the society as well, so I share the congratulations as well. But before I start, let me say how much I second and support what Obi just said here about the progress made in Africa. And for the sake of time, I will not repeat that. At the fund, at the IMF, even though we are not specialists in agriculture, agriculture is at the heart of our work. And that's why, unlike most economists, in our department, we are all attuned not only to the eventual effect of climate change, but also to weather today. Heavy rains and droughts equally undermine the economies of sub-Saharan Africa, because so many in the region depend on agriculture, not only for employment, as Obi just said, and cash crops, but also at the most basic level for their subsistence, health, education, and so forth. Healthy economies depend to a large extent on citizens healthy enough to contribute their labor and skills to build the economy. And health for everyone begins with adequate nutrition. And a healthy agriculture sector not only improves nutrition, it can directly and indirectly improve incomes. In our department in the fund, our analysis of the impact of growth on poverty, we have found that growth is strongly correlated with poverty reduction, especially over the long term. And of the drivers of a pro-poor growth that our case studies have identified, the most important is growth in the agriculture sector and development in rural areas. As Obi just said, if you have